Empathy, a key constituent of sustainability. Empathy is one of the fundamental constituents of humanity. It is recognized as one of the life skills by UNESCO. When we aspire for a sustainable social development, then empathy is a key constituent for it. Barack Obama has beautifully narrated empathy. See what he says. I am talking about a moral deficit. I am talking about an empathy deficit. I am talking about an inability to recognize ourselves in one another. To understand that we are our brother's keeper, we are our sister's keeper, that, in the words of Dr. King, we are all tied in a single garment of destiny. The word empathy is used in common conversation today. However, prior to late 1950s, it was seldomly used at all. Its evolution can be traced back to the Greek word empathia, which meant to suffer with. Carl Rogers made this word popular. He defined empathy as a way to perceive the internal frame of reference of another person with accuracy and with the emotional components and meanings which pertain thereto, as if one were the other person, without ever losing the as if condition. The expression of empathy is a component essential for accommodating human diversity in our world. We always used to say that empathy is about putting your feet in else's shoes. There is no universal definition of the term empathy. Definitions differ from each other depending upon the aspect of empathy emphasized by its authors. These definitions cover a broad spectrum, ranging from caring for other people and having a desire to help them, to experiencing emotions that match another person's emotions, to knowing what is the other person is thinking or feeling. Empathy also means to be thoughtful of feelings and views of other people, putting yourself in their place, trying to think like them. According to Baron Cohen and Will Wright, empathy is about spontaneously and naturally tuning into the other person's thoughts and feelings, whatever these might be. There are three central elements to empathy: cognitive component, affective component, and behavioral component. From the cognitive component of empathy, it refers to one's ability to take the perspective of others and see the world through his or her perspective. From the affective component, empathy involves experiencing the feelings of other person. From the behavioral component perspective, empathy involves verbal and non-verbal communication to indicate an understanding of an emotional resonance with other person. It can be argued that all three components of empathy are necessary to truly define it. Empathy is a two-part process. The first part is the cognitive awareness of the internal state of that person. The second part is the emotional response towards that person. So, we all need to be developing our cognitive awareness to understand others. Then only we will be able to respond emotionally towards others. For example, if someone is hungry, we should be able to feel the hunger of that person. Then only we will be able to provide food for that person. If someone is getting hurt by us, we should be able to perceive how it has hurt to him or her. Then only we will be able to avoid such things. Empathy is much more than what we see or what we hear. It is the emotion generated by an image. It is difficult to distinguish between empathy and sympathy. But empathy is far beyond sympathy and much deeper than it. Sympathy involves compassion but not passion. Empathy is all about compassion with passion. Sympathy means I want to help you. Empathy feels I am with you. Sympathy feels I see you, I hear you, I feel for you. But empathy is much deeper. Empathy feels I see you, I hear you, and I am you. So, if you wish to have sustainable society, a humanistic society, we need to cultivate empathy amongst all. So, we have to start it from ourselves as teachers. Then, we will be able to develop it amongst our students and subsequently in the entire society.